Hello and welcome to a new YouTube series. Let's watch out for fireballs, play The Binding of Isaac. I don't know how long this will last, but this is a game I have a lot of affection for. I've put an unreasonable number of hours on. I've talked about it on podcasts and stuff. Here, let me move that arrow. And as you can see by this handsome fella right here, I am a platinum god of this. That means I've unlocked all the achievements. That's a first for me. I've never gotten all the achievements in a video game before. I guess the closest thing to that would be fighting all the weapons in Final Fantasy VII. But that's not me. I don't do that. But this game seriously got me by the balls over the summer. Now, the regular Let's Plays are not discontinuing. I'm still going to be doing the NES games. I am also not trying to really horn in on the crowded world of Binding of Isaac Let's Plays. That is well-worn territory. There are people who are much better at it than I am, who've been doing it for a long time. Big shout out to Northern Lion, which is a YouTube Let's Player I like quite a lot. We're trying to get him to be on the Bonfire Side Chat podcast at some episode, because he also did a Let's Play of Dark Souls. That's very good. You'll note that you can't hear the music from the game. That's because I am just kind of using what software made sense to me and made it the easiest for me. I am not tech savvy. I've said it before. So I'm going to kind of treat this a little bit like a beginner's guide to The Binding of Isaac. I have some advantages that you won't have when you first start out, but I'm going to kind of explain some things that maybe are taken for granted, because on that cheerful ghost message board thing, there's some confusion there about how to play the game, and I also have shown given this game to a few friends. It's oftentimes $1.24 on Steam, and whenever it is, I buy a bunch of copies, and because I'm very evangelical about it. And I want to talk a little bit about how to play the game. So I'm just going to start out here. I've unlocked all the characters in the game. I'm going to play with Isaac because it's kind of the basic, and it's going to give me a little bit of a chance to show off some more of the content in the game. It's not because of his stats, which are average. You see he starts with 3 health, 2 speed, 2 offensive power. He also has some other stats that are not shown on this first page. But because he has the D6. The D6 is something you unlock by getting to the end of the game with the worst character in the game, and you are rewarded with one of the best items of the game. And it makes Isaac, who was previously pretty bland, into arguably the most fun character. Now you notice two things. I am on the Cellar Part 1, if you look to the lower left. Each floor has an alternate version, so instead of the basement, which is the kind of vanilla version, I am in the cellar. That is a harder version of the basement. That's part of the Wrath of the Lamb DLC. You also note that I have the Curse of Darkness. If you look to the upper left, that question mark there used to be there on when I'm not cursed. There's a map there, and right now there's not. These spiders can be kind of dickheads, and they're really tough when you're first starting the game. I wish that this game wasn't always bundled with Wrath of the Lamb now, because the game is easier before Wrath of the Lamb is installed. Now I just did 2 things here. I just found an item. This is the Book of Sin. It's got the 7 deadly sins on the front. Once every 6 rooms, I can use this item to get a free kind of consumable item, a bomb, a key, a coin, a heart. This item is terrible. It's not very good. I used to think it was pretty good when I first started. It's actually very bad. I picked it up to get my 1 use out of it, which gave me a heart. I wish I would have gotten a key out of it or a bomb. That would be much better. But also because if you pick up an item, it will no longer show up in the game. So if I go to a library later on, I will not find it full of the Book of Sin. Now, the power of the D6, I'm going to use my space bar. It re-rolls the item into another random item. This is an item called Tough Love. I'm going to pick this up. It makes Isaac get a little abused and changes his tears. So one of the things I want to talk about a little bit, and it's not talked about that often in these Let's Plays, is the kind of intersection between the way this game plays and the story. There's not tons of it, but there's a little bit of it. And one of the things is that, I am a basement. I'm trying to escape my mother. And, she's gone crazy with religious rage. And I'm fighting enemies with my tears. Things that make me cry make me more powerful. So because of this, every once in a while I shoot out a tooth. I'm sure I'll do it here in just a moment. Isaac, tooth. It's a random chance. I think it's a 10%, there we go. A 10% chance at your starting luck. It goes up more every time you get additional luck. So the tooth shots are 3 times more powerful. That scales with other tiers I can get, and I can increase that by finding luck up pills. So increase the likelihood of getting teeth. So pretty decent item. Not wonderful, but pretty decent. but worth it because it's not replacing my D6, which I don't like to do this early in the game. So one thing I think I'm going to do, no, I was going to look for the secret room. I'll talk about those when an opportunity presents itself, but I'm not going to do that now. You'll notice I have the goat hoof in the upper left. Wrath of the Lamb DLC introduced trinkets, which are passive items you can get. You can only, under ordinary circumstances, just have one of them equipped, and they just kind of change your stats or make a kind of a special bonus effect pop up. The goat hoof increases my speed by 15%, I believe, and it's not bad. Now, at the end of every floor, there's a boss. I'm fighting Pin. He is a boss that just popped out with the Wrath of the Lamb, and he's one of the easiest bosses I could be facing at this point. I doubt I will take damage. I might, though. Because being good, in my perspective, being good at... See, I didn't take damage. That belt there is a speed upgrade. When Isaac, the little abused baby, gets hit, he moves faster, because that's what you do to kids to make them move faster. Speed is not that important. You can see I'm already pretty fast, so I'm going to re-roll that. I get the 8-ball, which is a Tears upgrade. That doesn't make any sense, but it does come with the Hierophant, which gives me 2 Spirit Hearts. Tears is your rate of fire. I'm actually firing a little bit faster. I don't know if you noticed that. That stacks really well with Tough Love because it's more chances to get that tooth shot, which is pretty powerful. Also gave me a tarot card. Tarot card there is the Hierophant. Cards do the same thing every single time. So once you memorize what the Hierophant does, it will do the same thing every time. Pills are different. Pills are rolled up every time you play. That is perfect that just pop up there. Here's a pill. It's question marks, and it's whatever color this is. I'm colorblind. But this color is not the same pill every time you play. Every time you start a game, I think the game rolls up 6 pills that will end up in your mix. I took that as bombs or key. It changes my bombs into keys. So I had 1 bomb. I now have 1 key. It's always worth it to take pills, even though they can be bad. And the reason being is that you're very likely to run into the same pill again. And if you know that it's bad, you just won't take it again. And that's fine. But if you know that it's good, you know what to look out for, you know what to buy from shops, always take pills. The tarot card I have is the Hierophant, which gives me 2 Spirit Hearts. Spirit Hearts are like temporary armor. It's like the potions in Doom, I guess, would be a good way to put it. If you guys remember what I'm talking about, that weird, the armor, or the armor in Doom, I guess. The health that goes before your actual health goes. You can't refill it with red hearts. However, you lose it before you lose regular health. It's very important. I don't like using Spirit Heart items until I need to, and I'll explain why if the opportunity comes up. This rock right here, I'm shooting at right here, is a tinted rock. These oftentimes give you Spirit Hearts, but they can also give you other items. They're pretty much just treasure bags. They're always worth blowing up if you're able to. Now this is an excellent item. So this is Quad Shot. I now shoot 4 tiers. I'm shooting them much slower, which you may notice. But this item synergizes wonderfully with Tough Love. And the reason being is that I have 4 chances to get that tooth every time I shoot. That is excellent. So there's an excellent pickup. And really, I feel like you can kind of tell whether you're going to have a successful Isaac run really early on. And the reason being is that you get a good damaging item early on. And if you can get a good base of health, excuse me, I didn't mean to actually pick up that Spirit Heart because as per earlier, I would have liked to have waited. But if you get a good base of health, you can pretty much make a good run at it. That's all you really need. Quad Shot is one of maybe 5 or 6 items that really gives you an excellent shot. You're doing potentially 4 times as much damage if you're able to hit with all 4 shots, and just at the cost of your rate of fire. You're also much more accurate because you have the spread shot. Counter players everywhere know spread shot. Now, the reason why I don't like picking up Spirit Hearts. This door right here is a curse room. Or a spike room. There's 2 different rooms that kind of have that naming convention. I always go into these, and this is a way that I differ from Northern Lion. Northern Lion does not like going to them. I just have better luck with them. So there's always 1 or 2 red chests. Red chests have different effects, but they can contain very powerful items. So this time I got a Spirit Heart, which means that I've actually broken even on this. And then these blue flies are kind of like little options that will fly off and attack enemies. They only last until they die. But the other reason is because oftentimes if they're adjacent to the secret room, like this, you'll find out. So in this case, it turned out to be very worth it. I got 9 cents, which is enough money to go to the shop, which I'm going to do. And at the cost of, so I'm going to leave here. I lose a red heart, and I grab this. So at the cost of really 1/2 a spirit heart, I got these 3 flies, 9 cents, and the opportunity for much more. Now this is kind of an arena room. You'll see it has 2 cross swords there. You have to have full health or have the difference. So if I was down 1/2 red heart, if I had that half spirit heart, that would have made up the difference. Once I take this treasure, it's like Doom 3. Enemies are going to pop out and get me. And you fight 3 waves of enemies. Sometimes worth it, sometimes not. In this case, I got a bomb. I'm going to be able to open up that tinted rock. I like that. In this case, I'm going to say it's worth it. So if you really know nothing about this game, I'm controlling this kind of like a twin-stick shooter with WASD and the arrow keys, which I like a lot more than the mouse because it allows you a lot more precision. If you're having a hard time with Binding of Isaac, get used to this control scheme with the WASD and the arrow keys. It's a lot easier. So I have 17 cents. That's an important, I have more than 15 cents, which is an important number for going to the shop. So you'll see here in the shop, this is a Monty Hall in the shop. There's a lot of items to be in here. So I can replace my key. I can get kind of consumable items. The candle here is an excellent item. This is another way in which I differ from Northern Lion. So I'm not going to pick up the candle, and the reason why is because I already have really great offense. I don't like duplicating my items. I like to have, because the candle takes up a spacebar slot. So if I have really good tiers, like I do now, I don't want something, I want my spacebar slot to be a defensive item. So I'm actually going to go fight the boss. I'm going to see if I want to use my reroll on the boss. My reroll being my use of the d6. You'll note that, or if you noticed when I used my d6 earlier, so here I got a bomb and a spirit heart, very worth it. I might as well use the Hierophant now. The d6, after you use it, it takes 3 rooms to charge, including the room you use it on. So you have to finish 3 rooms with combat to get a charge. And that means you have to be really strategic about using the d6. And there's some kind of tricks you can do and little things. I found I've gotten very good at maximizing my use of that. So what I was going to say, one of the ways that you can kind of be... okay, so this is giving me a bonanza of choices for the d6. So I didn't really get hurt on that floor. So I earn a deal with the devil. Deal with the devil is I can trade some health permanently. So if I pick up these, that is cost in permanent hearts. Now, I have a lot of reroll candidates. I have that blue candle in the shop, which I could reroll into a more useful item. I have Pageant Boy, which is that item, that crown that I left in that boss room. That's one of the worst items in the game, and definitely the worst item you can get from a boss. It is just some money. That's it, and it's terrible. These are both reasonable items. It's kind of a quandary. What I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to take either of these because I don't have that much health. I could re-roll them and maybe get a really overpowered item, but I already have quad shot with the tooth, so this is already pretty good. I'll leave the deal with the devil. The other reason why it's sometimes good to leave the deal with the devil is to increase your chance of being something called deals with the angel, and that is like the holy version of what we just did, and that's very excellent because those items are free. I'm really happy I did. I picked up meat. Meat is maybe the best item you can get after a boss. It is an HP upgrade. If you look to the upper right, I have 4 hearts. It is a damage upgrade, so my damage is up 1. If I look at my stats here, my damage is now at 3 instead of 2. And it is also a tears upgrade. It makes my tears shoot slightly faster. And now with my 17 cents, I'm going to buy a spirit heart, I'm going to buy a bomb, and I'm going to buy a key. Leaving the blue candle behind. I keep bringing up Northern Lion just because he's the YouTuber that I watch the most. He's a very funny guy. I recommend you check him out. I'm not really making jokes during this, though. I'm just enjoying, laying some knowledge on people. Not to be arrogant, I guess. I guess that is super arrogant. And now that I have a thing, I could go in here. I'm mildly tempted by both these items. The Ouija board makes my tears like Kitty Pride, so I can go intangible. Book of Belial doubles my damage for 1 room, but it is a spacebar item. The Book of Belial might have been a good pickup there, but we're gonna continue going down to the caves. the next set of levels. The levels are in sets of 2, so except for the kind of end game levels. So you'll notice these enemies are colored. Colored enemies either have more health or do more damage, but they also always drop an item. So colored enemies are actually to your advantage. These are both items I want, and I have 2 bombs. So that's excellent. I'm going to take this nickel first, and I'm going to wait and see if there's a better use for this bomb before I get the key. And maybe you didn't notice this, but there's a rock right here. If I leave a bomb right here, it creates a bridge across the gap. So that's a very useful trick. And I am glad that I didn't use my bomb yet, because I'm going to use it on this tinted rock. Now what I'm hoping for here is an item, and so here's a trick. So I have to blow up this rock. I'm going to put my bomb here. The reason being is that it's possible, it wasn't, but this could have been the secret room. And if it was, I would have gotten a lot of bomb kind of economy out of that. And that would have been worth it. But the item you're hoping for when you break open a tinted rock is an item called the Small Rock, which is a damage upgrade and is excellent. This is the curved horn. I'm going to take it over the goat hoof. It is also a damage upgrade. You'll notice that my tears are red now. That doesn't always mean damage, but it does in this case. It's also not going to show on my stats because it's a kind of a temporary effect, but it is. Now here's Peep. Peep is, I realized I didn't even talk about Monster on that last level. Peep is one of the hardest bosses, Peep and Peep variants. He's got an alternate form and he's got different colored versions. He doesn't look like he's hard right now, but you have to keep a lot of things in mind when you're fighting Peep. And he has a lot of health. I'm just doing a lot of damage, and that is why that was so easy. He's a real shitbird, though. This right here is the Cat o' Nine Tails. If you whip your kid with Cat o' Nine Tails, they cry faster, I guess. And increases the shot speed, so the speed my tears move across the screen. Second worst upgrade you can get from a boss. So I'm going to re-roll it for a straight up dog food. It's HP. HP upgrade. That's much better. So I don't think I'm going to go for that key. I might on my way back to the boss room. You notice that I fought the boss right away. I just like doing that. Take some damage there. No good. You don't need to. You don't need to fight the boss right away. But I like to do it while I'm there, just in case I get deal with the devil, and it changes the way I play the rest of the floor. Took some stupid damage there. Again, I almost always take this risk. In this case, we're going to get, let's see if it's worth it. So, tears down, that's pretty terrible. And pretty fly, which is very good. So this fly that is around me is an orbital shield. That's going to stay there. That's going to stay with me for the whole game. It's a permanent upgrade, and it's going to block me from some projectiles. I'm just checking to see what's in here, because if it might be worth it to come back. That ladder works exactly like the ladder in Zelda. You'll notice that this game takes a lot of inspiration from Zelda, which I really like about it, Zelda 1 specifically. And that ladder lets me cross small gaps. Okay, so instead, though, I'm not going to buy the ladder, and here's why. Unless I get a lot more money. There are beggars in the game. They take your coins. And at first, I didn't think it was a good investment to spend money on them. However, I was dead wrong, and the name of this beggar is Judgment. The reason why is there's a tarot card called Judgment that creates one of him. And he almost always pays, so I've given him 7 cents. He's given me a bomb, a key, and an HP upgrade. Always give your money to Judgments if you're able to. They're almost always worth it. That tarot card I have is Justice. That gives me kind of a suite of items. It gives me 1 heart, 1 bomb, 1 key, and coin. And that's a really good tarot card. I don't need it just yet, though, so I'm not going to use it just yet. Going into the item room. Each floor has an item room and a shop at least. And then the other rooms are randomized to a degree. So you always want to go to the item room before you leave. This item is called Dead Bird. If I get hit on a floor, it will sometimes spawn a dead bird, but the dead bird is terrible. So instead, I'm going to take money versus power, or money equals power. It's a way better item. And one of the things I like about Isaac, and I talked about this, I'm really spoiled for choice here. I'm getting a lot of good stuff. So I talked about this in regards to kind of talking shit about Diablo likes and on the internet, which is nothing personal against people who like those games, but I think they have a lot to be desired. And one of the things why is that Isaac uses randomness to the best possible effect. The randomness in the level layouts is not wonderful, but it's necessary so it doesn't get too boring. The randomness in the item, though, you get so many items that act like items in Super Metroid, where they totally recontextualize the way you play. So I have money versus power now, or money equals power. I don't know why I keep saying versus. Money equals power means every 10 cents I get, up to 30 cents gives me a damage upgrade. So now I'm going to be hoarding my money and losing out on what's in shops. And that just changes the way I play. That's very interesting. The bloody penny gives me a chance of getting a red heart if I pick up a coin. That's only really good if I can find a blood bank, which maybe I'll run into one of those so I can show you. But for now, I'm going to stick with the curved horn, straight up damage upgrade. Running low on spirit hearts, I'm getting hit more. I'm not used to talking about this game while playing it. But the game heard my cry. So I'm definitely not going to go to that shop and buy anything. I do want to find the secret room now, however, because 6 cents will equal a damage upgrade. Now if you look up in the upper in the map, secret rooms, there's 2 kinds of secret rooms, one of which almost always is bordered by 3 or 4 rooms. So right below me, if you look at the map, this is a likely candidate for the secret room, and it is. The other kind is, and that's excellent. So is this 2? Okay, so my damage is now twice as up 2 from where it was. So I'm rolling with tons of damage. I have a good amount of health. This is a great run for me to be doing my first episode on. The other kind of secret room contains doesn't contain money usually. Kind of contains other miscellaneous stuff, and it's in walls where none of that is true. So there's just one room bordering it. It's very different. So it's much harder to search for and pays out less. It definitely pays out less in our situation here where we want to stack money, because money equals power, as is the name of the item. It makes you look like a toddler in tiara when you wear the glasses. So the stars sends me to the item room. Oh my goodness. You guys are watching the best Isaac run I've ever had. Polyphemus turns me into a Cyclops. I now shoot 3 huge, mega damaging. There's no way that I'm not going to beat the game on this run. Semi-piercing, mega damaging shots. You guys are literally seeing the best Isaac of my life. And I've got to decide. I like money versus power, but the item that would really, really fix me. Okay. I'm going to come back for this. You'll see what I do. But what would really fix me is an item that generated hearts. So I would have a healing item, and these bombs will do this for me. So Judgment's still going to be worth playing, even though I don't want to spend my money. So I'm going to create this bridge. Your bombs have a 2 Isaac width or Tumba height radius. So if I put a bomb here, it's going to blow up Judgment. There are advantages to blowing up Judgment. You blow up Judgment, and you're more likely to get a deal with the devil. However, that's just a percentage chance, and deal with the devils can sometimes be trash, and sometimes you can fight a boss in there. That gives you a free upgrade, so he's not terrible, but it's not my favorite upgrade in the world. So you'll notice my money going down, which sucks, but I got the compass. One of the best items of the game. So when I leave here, you'll notice up on my map, everything is pointed out where it's at. This is going to save me going to unnecessary rooms like mad. I went to this room as unnecessary, but I didn't need to. So that was well worth my time and money. I am going to, again, even though health was previously a concern, I almost always go into these rooms. I almost always think they're worth it. This time it wasn't. That chest backfired, but there's really nothing that's going to stop me at this point. And secret room is going to replenish almost all that cash, even more so. So 3 damage upgrades. Look how huge my teeth and tears are. This is excellent. You'll notice I picked up that card before that teleported me to the item room. I dropped Justice for that because I knew I could come back and get it. Here's a cameo from one of Edmund McMillan's other games. A game called Gish, which I think is mildly fun. I don't love it though. It's worth it for 2 keys to fight 3 enemies that I'm going to be able to stomp the floor with. Yep. For sure. I'm doing an incredible amount of damage. I said this is kind of like a beginner's guide, but there is an element of this game that's pure luck. I have had such good luck that I should not have cleared that room this quickly. But that's a fun part of Isaac too. It has that slot machine kind of appeal that something like a Diablo would. So if you want these coins, you have to go diagonally over them. It's a little tricky until you learn how to do it. I very rarely get hurt doing it. But you have to be careful because spikes do 1 full heart of damage. Down there is a library. This is actually excellent. I don't think I noticed that before when I first got the compass. And the reason it's excellent is libraries just have books. I'm going to pick them up once and use them each. A monster manual summons a familiar, which is a certain kind of little guy that shoots along with you, but only lasts for one room and it takes 6 to charge up. The Anarchist Cookbook makes bombs spawn everywhere in the room. It's a terrible item. You're likely to hurt yourself with it. I might even hurt myself here. But I used them both so they wouldn't appear again. I'm going to re-roll them. And I got 2 Books of Belial. This game really wants me to have like the most damage in the absolute universe. And I'm really tempted by it. In fact, fuck it. I can now do double, more or less like infinite damage on a room. So this guy's name is Chum. He is not going to stand a fucking chance. This is a bad day for Chum. I had to hit him, and Chum got me. My rate of fire is really terrible, and he's quick, but marvel at the amount of health I'm taking off of Chum. Chum and a nice, I died there because I want to show you that. Little Dodongo just like smoke. Another little Legend of Zelda reference. For all us little 8-bit kids out there. This is a really great boss item. The crate gives you one of every type of item, including a guaranteed, I'm not going to do a bomb turkey, a guaranteed spirit heart. So very good. A bicycle card. Bicycle card, I'm going to use Justice because I want to take that bicycle card with me. Now Justice can give you a live bomb, as you see. 2 of hearts doubles the number of hearts I have. I'm not hurting for red hearts at all. And actually, these are not good items. I'm not going to talk about them until I have a reason to pick them up. So I'm going to go, I'm playing mathematically correct Isaac. Like there's kind of a way to play Isaac that is like, in blackjack, where you just kind of, you do everything right. And that is going to be to go to this arcade and use up a lot of my hearts at what's known as a blood bank to get a chance of getting the item that the blood bank drops, and to get a lot more money for my money versus power. And hey, look, there's golden shit. Golden shit gave me a trinket I don't want. But, oh, and on the very first try. So usually this is going to give me money in exchange for my hearts. Instead, it instantly gave me what's known as the blood bag, which gives me a health up and a speed up. It's a great item. I was just going to trade in some of my hearts. This guy is a 3-card Monty guy. This effect is randomized. Don't let anybody tell you different. So it doesn't matter where you click, but you either get fly or you get a thing. This is a fortune teller machine. Oftentimes we'll give you something like that, Steven Lives. Sometimes, though, it will give you a trinket or a spirit heart or a tarot card. All worthwhile items. Not worth it for me so far. I've had an amazing floor. This is a great Isaac run. You guys are seeing a textbook. Like I couldn't ask for a better Isaac run. The only thing I would maybe trade is this Book of Belial is maybe a little bit overkill as far as damage and be able to kill bosses very quickly, but would be something to replenish my health. Now, this is my least favorite enemy of the game. It was brought up with the Wrath of the Lamb thing. They're called like little mini Masks of Infamy because there's a boss version called the Mask of Infamy. And he sucks. And here's the worst item in the game. I'll pick it up real quick to use it and show it to you. It's called Lemon Mishap. Makes Isaac urinate himself. You can not use that often, and it just creates a little field. If enemies step on it, it hurts them. It seems like it'd be fun to like set traps and stuff. It's not. It doesn't work. And I've never used it effectively. So, real terrible. These guys are real sons of bitches. So you'll notice I'm on, if I look to the lower left, I'm on something called Necropolis. Necropolis is the hard version of something called the Depths. There's a dime right there, very rare. If money equals power stacked infinitely, I would have 5 health or damage upgrades right now, which is insane. Instead, I just have the max. I think it maxed out at 3, which is plenty. These guys usually take a lot more hits to kill, which is bad news. And I'm very glad that I'm able to take them out in one go because I hate them so. Easy peasy. There's not much in here that's so in these trap rooms, the enemies get tougher as you go as well. There's not very much in there right now. I'm willing to fight. Much that could be in that chest rather. Much reward that could be in the chest. These guys are kind of tricky. They explode like that, but it unlocked the secret room. I didn't do that on purpose that time, but that is a tactic. If there's somewhere you think the secret room can be, and there's an enemy that will blow up, you can try to blow them up near the wall. For a meager 3 cents. It's not great, but it does mean that if I do buy something in the shop, it's going to make that much less of an impact on me. This is the first floor I'm not going to explore everything on because the enemies are tougher. and I'm more likely to take damage, and it becomes not a net gain for me. So I'm going to go into the shop. I'm expecting to run into mini-boss, one of the 7 deadly sins, Greed. Greed shows up in secret rooms and shops, and is one of my least favorites. It's not because he's tough to fight. He is kind of tough to fight, but it's because he cost you, I like this little Bomberman reference level as well. It's because he cost you the opportunity of a shop. But I didn't run into Greed. I ran into the map instead, which is excellent. I'm going to gamble a stamp on this tarot card. I get Strength. It's not as good as the Two of Hearts, but that's okay. It's a gamble. Yeah, so the map, you'll see my map is filled in now, and the secret room is pointed out. When you have those two things, you can see where everything is. And it makes the end game, when you're really just trying to avoid going through every room looking for shit, a lot easier. So they're kind of, they don't seem like it at first, but they're defensive items. These red fires will shoot you, another Legend of Zelda reference I really appreciate, so I always put those out. These guys are gross and are tough, but not when I'm doing this much damage. And this floor, again, was very kind to me for a Necropolis floor. I might fight a real dickhead boss in here, though. Yes, here's Mask of Infamy. This guy sucks. He does not have a health bar. You can't see what he's like. I think he's a champion Mask of Infamy too. He's black colored. I don't know what makes him different. So I can only hurt the heart at first. Once I kill the heart, I can hurt the mask. I want to get the mask to look up, because if he does, he's got a little guy inside him. Mask. Is that a little guy in there? Or, oh yeah, I can only hurt the Mask of Infamy from behind. Or with bombs, or with poison, or you can get items that pierce through enemies. I mean, sometimes hurt them from the side. But you notice that I'm not, if I could actually hit this guy more, this fight would maybe be over already, but he's hard to get behind. It's real risky because he packs a punch. Not actually more than any other enemy. It's not like Dark Souls or something where certain enemies will one-hit you or anything. The kind of general rule is everything does a half heart of damage until you get down to the womb. And I gotta deal with the angel. This is a range upgrade, this lipstick. Worth it because my range now is pretty good. Deal with the angel. What do we got? Scapular. This is the second worst item you can get from a deal with the angel. What that does is if I get down to half a heart, it will give me a spirit heart. And that's cold comfort in the end, because it just means that, yeah. So I'm not going to go up towards that shop because there's almost certainly going to be Greed there. Unless Greed, and Greed won't be down here because I would see it with my compass. So that's not worth it to me. But yeah, at that point you're just forestalling death one hit. That is not worth it. So Scapular is terrible. I feel like there were some glitchy versions of this game early on where Scapular gave you unlimited health for, you know, because of some glitchy nonsense, and that would actually be cool. Not cool. It'd actually not be fun. It would break the game, but it would maybe make the item worth it. Mom's Bra is an item that has a bad rep. It makes this big gross image show up on the screen, and it freezes enemies in place for a good long while, and really worth it more or less as a boss killer. But I'm not gonna go with it because I'm liking this incredibly high damage setup I have here, which is going to make these last couple bosses real easy. Keep in mind I almost always go in these, unlike many YouTube Let's Players. Okay, this is a Guppy item. Guppy was your dead cat. It's been put into pieces. It doesn't tell you what it does when you get it. It just says cursed. What this does is it changes certain, not all, but certain gray chests into golden chests. Golden chests are more likely to give you good treasure, but they also require a key to open. So that is what the cursed is in reference to. They're kind of a double-edged sword. I have 7 keys. I'm not too worried about it. And I won't find that much extra stuff in the game anyway. But to give you an idea what golden chests could possibly bring me, and lots of wealth in that one, so that was worth it. And really, if that's all Guppy's Tale did, it just paid for itself. As long as I have enough keys for one very key-intensive part at the very end of the game, which you guys will all see because I'm having this very good run. And I'm being good with keys. So we're fighting the first, this was the boss of the game until you unlock further bosses, is Mom. So here she is. She kind of pops down. This boss fight is all about situational awareness, keeping an eye on these enemies she's spawning, the foot, the walls, everything and having the reflexes to dodge them. Again, I really lucked out with my damage setup, so that was not difficult at all. There can be tinted rocks in here. Always pay attention for that. This item here is Mom's coin purse. So the reason why I picked this up is because one item I knew was a pretty fly, or one pill that we had before was a pretty fly, so we were likely to get that again. Bombs are key I am going to use. I do want 10 keys. And this is health up, so well worth it. That was a great pickup. This item here is the Polaroid. Really controversial thing about this game is to unlock the end game, you have to have this with you. So it stops you from carrying a trinket for the rest of this area. That's a pain in the ass. I don't like it. But it used to be that you didn't always get the Polaroid for killing Mom. Oh, this mouse has been there the whole time. That probably made some people angry. You didn't always get it. And now that you do, it makes it a little bit easier. It just stops you from being able to have a little utility there. This is an item that is sometimes a boss in the upper floors and has appeared as a regular room. Something I love when video games do that. You have a hard time dealing with stuff and they make them into bosses. Or make them into regular enemies later. He's blue, and that oftentimes means they give you spirit hearts. I need to start being somewhat careful with my health, because I'm not doing great on it, and I would hate for hubris to kind of ruin this for me. If I go into that library and there's an item that there's one specific item that will regenerate health, I'm going to grab it, even though I have been enjoying using the Book of Belial. Unicorn Horn's a really good item. Gives you invincibility for a room and makes you destroy enemies, but not as good as Book of Belial. Doing very well on most of my consumables here. 10 of them. You can use bombs in combat. I very rarely do it. I don't think it's that worth it, but there are definitely situations which you do. There are items that you can get that give you, effectively unlimited bombs, 99 bombs. It's not unlimited. You can run out. I have run out, but it's pretty close to unlimited. Trick to this enemy is just play chicken with him. So he won't actually run all the way into you if you keep shooting him. It'll divert his path. Took me a long time to learn that. I thought that was one of the hardest bosses and rooms in the game until I figured that out. Oh, so I have Curse of the Labyrinth, which means I'm doing 2 floors at once. So ordinarily the womb is two floors. I'm just going to be doing 1 here. And that's good. It's going to save me a lot of time because I can go right to it. The fact that arcade there is good. Now arcades, they only have a chance of spawning if you have, I think, 5 cents when you enter a floor. So the fact that never mind. Why did I think that was an arcade? This is that item I want. This is the Book of Revelations. So every time you use that, it gives me a spirit heart. Takes 6 rooms, but it means I'm going to be regenerating at least some health. Well worth it. Because I'm already doing insane damage. Sloth is, I think, the 7 deadly sin, the 7 deadly sin with the most HP. And I'm killing him in about 3 or 4 hits. So, and he gave me an item there. That's actually an item I have some affection for. It's a poison bomb you can throw every 3 rooms. Loki here. This is a dead... So all the bosses in Wrath of the Lamb got dead forms. They're not called that. They're just like boss versions, but it's like what they would be like if they were dead. And Loki gets ripped in half here. You fight him the same as if you were fighting just 2 Lokis. So stem cells is makes me look real gross. Put that baby on the side of my face. And gives me an HP upgrade. And here's Mom's Heart, which is called It Lives now, which is now a fetus. I like to do this first part here with bombs. Just out of habit. I don't really need to anymore, but I used to have to. And I guess I do use bombs in this fight, and the reason why is that Mom is going to come down and let you hit her for a little bit. Oh shit, that was terrible. And spawn enemies for you to fight, which I like to hit with bombs as they come out. Welcome them into the world with a bomb. Pediatric care at its finest. That was actually a boss from much earlier floors. Those guys were those eyeballs guys. That's what I want. Okay, I wanted to hit more of these guys. So these guys can only be hit from behind, like those Masks of Infinity. They're good uses for bombs. You notice I laid a bomb and then shot it with my tears. That's kind of something that you'll pick up. My rate of fire is really slow, which makes I'm getting the shots on these guys and not being able to take them. So once you get Mom down to about, or Mom's, you, I guess, as a fetus, down to about half health, you just hang out and you just start shooting bombs. And this is real. This is not too bad at all. You just dodge the bombs. They leave that creep on the ground that hurts you, but just avoid it. No problem. I'm going into the final 2 dungeons. I've got 9 health, 8 health. Pretty good. I feel good about my chances here. I've got the compass. This is the Cathedral. This is the first. This was added. No, this was in the vanilla game. Never mind. Here's Greed. Here's that enemy that puts a real damper in your spirits if you're looking for shops. This was in the main game. The next area was added in the expansion. But this used to be the end of the game. You could either go here or go down to Sheol and fight Satan. But to get the true ending of the game, you go here and you fight yourself. Because it's deep. I know exactly where the boss is. That is a demon. It's called Demon Judgment. He wants your health, and he gives you better items than a regular judgment, but he pays out a little less frequently, and I don't have the health to spare. But he's a very good, if you have a lot of red hearts sitting around, he's a great idea to play him, because you can get items that would cost you tons of permanent red hearts for just a temporary investment. This guy is also a boss on earlier floors, but I'm just mopping the floor with him because of my insanely strong tiers. So I'm getting to the end boss, and this end boss actually gets repeated. So you fight a variation on this at the end. Fighting Isaac. So Isaac is a very passive boss, or very reactive is a better way to put it. He cries every once in a while, but he really cries when you start hitting him with stuff. And I'm doing a lot of damage to him, I'm not too worried. But and I've got a really good setup for this. You can get items that make you shoot tiers much faster, and that makes him shoot much faster. So this is actually a great setup for him. Even though I am taking some damage because it's like a bullet hell kind of thing, and I don't play dim games. I'm hitting him with all 4 of my shots though, that's excellent. And you'll notice I'm doing a good amount of damage each hit. He has tons of HP. This boss is really tough. You really have to have like rolled pretty good items. This is second form, or his third form actually. So he is no longer shooting the tiers, but he spawns these angel fetuses, is what these things are called, and brings these rays down from heaven and shoots those telekinetic homing shots. So it's really tough. I think if I was going to, I love this game, but if I was going to pick a flaw on it, it's that these end bosses really are more about tanking or anything than skill. Like, it's really hard to beat them without getting hit, without a really overpowered set of items. I'm going to get this heart up here. So I'm going into the final area of the game, the chest. I really like the chest, and we'll see what happens there. So you start out, you have 4 items, and free items. And this is a damage upgrade and a health upgrade. That's worth it. This is speed and range. That's worth it. These 2 items. So this one gives me random tier effects. I'm going to say worth it, because they're always going to be 4, but sometimes they're going to be poison or something like that. Game Kit is interesting. I'm probably going to come back for that. So this is a boss rush. This is rooms full of bosses, oftentimes many of them. So this would have been a boss on the first floor that you would have fought by himself. And here you're fighting 3 of them all at once. This is really tough. So these are not bosses. You'll see here I have poison. No, I don't. I have urine tiers, which are quick, but don't have as much range. Because I have random tier effects to that $3 barrel. That was not too bad. I have translucent tiers there. Okay, Monstro 2. This is the dead version of Monstro. He becomes a cyborg, because of course he does. And I have homing shots, which is very good for this fight, actually. Because I'm gonna need to be doing some major dodging on this guy. Because one of these guys is very easy to lock into a pattern. 2 of these guys is much harder. And he does a lot of damage, he has a lot of health. This actually sucks. So one of them, though, he's going to do this laser thing. If I go over here, he's going to do it this way. If we go over here, he's going to do it this way. And this is what a Monstro 2 fight should be. But, okay. So I'm in an interesting spot. If I go into one more room after this, I can charge up my Book of Revelations and get an extra Spirit Heart. However, I have to, for that to make sense, I need to take no damage for that room. I don't think I'm going to do it. I think what I am going to do is go back to that first room. So the other thing is all chests give you an item. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the best item of the game. I shouldn't even take it. I don't need it. This is going to make this end fight instant win. Mom's Knife is the item you get for beating this last part with a really bad character. Other than D6, the other item you get. And it's incredibly overpowered. The game kid turns me into Pac-Man for a room. I'm going to save it. And I lost my Two of Hearts at some point. I'm going to save it until hopefully when the angel fetuses pop down so I can eat them and gain health back. So this is a poisonous knife at this point? No. It's the urine knife, I think. Look how much damage I'm doing to him, though. It's insane. The knife makes this work. It's making this guaranteed victory. Even though I got hit there, I can pretty much just stand there and probably tank him just fine. Here, I'm gonna eat. That's going to give me, see how that gives me back some health for killing these guys. As the game kid, as Pac-Man. Just regenerate a little bit of health. Pac-Man's very similar to the My Little Unicorn horn item I saw. But it's a little bit better because it gives you health. A little bit worse because it's directional. Come on. And that is a successful Binding of Isaac run. Here's the ending. So I'll probably do a few more of these. I don't think I'm going to do like a long-running series of them. I don't think I'm necessarily as good at it as some of the other YouTubers who do this kind of thing, which sounds like a website for potatoes. But I do like playing Binding of Isaac. I do like talking about it. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll probably do more new games now that I have this software too. So I can do other games other than NES games. So enjoy the Let's Play channel, guys. Thanks for watching. And listen to the show, and listen to our new shows, and go to duckfeed.tv, where we don't talk about Binding of Isaac, but we do talk about other stuff. That was a terrible way to say that. All right. Good night.